We'd like to welcome you here inside of Hot Springs County High School, home of the Bobcats. Here inside the Bobcat Den, it is Varsity Volleyball on Two Basins Sports Network, the voice of the Bobcats. It's a Class 2A Northwest matchup between the visiting Greybull Buffaloes and your Thermopolis Bobcats. This game should be an interesting one as both teams are coming into this game on kind of separate wins. The Greybull Buffaloes coming into this game ranked second in 2A West with a 10-8 record. No games have been played yet for either side in the conference. So every team except for Big Piney and Kemmerer are currently sitting 0-0 in the West, in the 2A West Conference. With that as well, the Thermopolis Bobcats 4 wins and 12 losses coming into this game. Of course, should be hopefully a little bit better of a game. They came off of a win over Wind River last week. I'm trying to see what else as well, but and they lost to Big Piney, a big thing for them there. That was in the Thermopolis tournament. They got quite a few losses to go over. We're not going to go over all of them, but so far, I mean, that win against Wind River hopefully made things a little bit better for them, and we are underway here from Hot Springs County High School. J.C. Owsley on the spike to start us off, and it's in! And 1-0, a hot start already. Let's see if the Bobcats can keep this momentum going as the junior teams lost. The freshmen and the JV teams losing. Of course, freshmen 2-1, JV 2-0. They're going to try and keep this one going. That is going to be right back with a carry, 2-0. We already know the Lady Cats have punched well above their weight for the most part during this varsity season. They beat Lander, a 3A team who was ranked. And the spike and a block! That's going to be there in the middle. Owsley tries to tip it back over. They're going to try and work it near side, now back up to the far side, takes the spike, and out of bounds. That'll stay a Greybull point. Just barely stays in bounds, though, and now here comes the serve coming up for number 10. Who is that? Marley Henson, the junior. She'll send it over, diving stop for Epperson. That'll go out of bounds. Layla Epperson, the junior. Tied 2-2 here in the opening set. And that one, a net fault off of the 10 of Marley Henson. That's going to go right back to the Bobcats. That's going to give way for the 7 of, who is that? That's going to go up. Flag goes up and it's out of bounds. They must have switched her number or something. Who is that? Okay, she's not on the roster that I have, nor the one that they gave to the fans here, so. And the spike goes right on back. Owsley body blocks it with her shoulder. It's up, and the spike is blocked again. The middle blocker's making a move. It's Slagle and Owsley on the rejection. 4-3, the Bobcats on top here to open out 2A West play for them this season. They're going to try and send it over the diving stop. And the spike, and that's a little too much power on it there. Super entertaining to watch. Number 19, Perla Rodriguez Davila on the spike there for Greybull. The set, Davila on the far side. It's going to be blocked. And this is going to be a set and a spike. Slagle sends it over, tipped over. That's going to be a kill. Elizabeth Holloway there was the one who touched it last for the Buffaloes. That'll make it a 6-3 ball game here in the first set. J.C. Owsley, the senior, back to serve. Lets it go. And a diving move to the floor. That'll go just underneath the net, and it will be a Bobcat point. Bobcats doing 7 Nation Army and having the student section reciprocate it. 7-3 here. Owsley still serving. The jump serve, that was going to go to the go for the dig to the number 16. They're going to bump this one over the net. Owsley, now spiked by Charlie Slagle, and it goes by, flag goes up. That will be a Greybull point, and I believe it was Peyton Green that is wearing that number 7. They did call her in the starting lineup, so, oh, never mind, that is, so she's already out there on the floor, so I couldn't tell you who that is, actually. Back set, now to Slagle, the spike, and it's going to fall. Man, it's so fun watching volleyball at the varsity level because of stuff like that. Just some powerful spikes, and these girls can hit. It's so fun watching them at the college level, too, for the same reason. The serve by Sorensen. The bump set, the spike, and that's going to go by. Number 7, the only, I don't want to say that it's Sky Griffin because I don't think that it is, but she's the only 7 that I can see on the roster that's not Buckner. I doubt they'd have Buckner starting as a freshman on the varsity team. They're going to tip it over. The libero, Epperson, with it now. They're going to try and tip it over. That's Peyton Green there to get it. Greybull will try to counter at the spike, and they'll let that one go. The flag goes up. It's a point. Working 9 to 5. Dolly Parton would be pretty proud of this score. 9 to 5. Thermopolis on top here at home to open out 2A West play. I thought they split it up into quadrants, but I guess that's just not the thing for 2A in this sport. And that is off of the libero there, Layla Epperson. 9 to 6, still a decent lead for the Bobcats here. As now serving is going to be Caitlin Hunt, the sophomore. I think we saw her a little bit as the libero in the JV game. The spike coming up, and it's blocked. And going right to the floor. Quick feet there. Owsley will send it over. The set and the spike. That's going to go to the back row. Flag goes up. And they're going to give the point to the Cats. 10-6 here. Greybull kind of just being dragged along just a little ways. The serve almost line faulted there. But it will be a point on the Bobcats. As I was saying, almost line faulted, but that is going to be a timeout for Greybull, I think. So we'll be right back in just a moment. Talking back as the Greybull Buffaloes break out of the timeout here. I know we just sent you bouncing from scene to scene here, but we made a couple of we had a couple of oversights during the break there. But the Buffaloes' first one's out of the timeout. Greybull will be using their timeout. I believe it was them. Yep, it was. Referee signals Greybull has used their first of 2. So serve coming up here for Peyton Green, the senior. Sends it over. And the dive, and they're going to try and salvage it. Heads up, that'll go into the Greybull section. It's awesome hearing them do the 7 Nation Army. They got the student section in on it too. That's going to go way out of bounds. Flag goes up. Greybull will get it back. 12-7 is your score, a football score. Epperson on the reception. Now Owsley. Now here comes Green. That'll go under the net, and another point for the Buffs. 12-8. Open up this set. About halfway through here in this first set of the evening. Best of 5 at the varsity level. The reception by Green, and now tipped over. It goes over to the other side. And the set and the spike by Owsley falls to the floor. That's a point. 13-8 is your score here as Epperson now coming out of the game. Yeah, Bobcats doing really well compared to their sub-varsity counterparts today. As we said earlier, in case you're just tuning in, you didn't see the JV and freshman games. Freshmen lost 2-1. Came down to the final couple of points. And out of bounds. Flag goes up there. 13-9. Greybull starting to claw their way back in just ever so slightly. Nothing egregious yet, but we got a sub coming onto the floor. I think they're going to put in the libero here. Number 2, Shane Cheatham. She'll send it over. The diving stop for Epperson. The bump and the spike. It's blocked. And they're going to go to the floor here. Owsley, two-hander, and kept alive, but it's going to fall. Owsley with the kill. And we got one coming in. It looks to be number 8 onto the floor for Thermopolis. Jalen Sedman's the only one I can see. The block, Charlie Slagle up there with it. And they're going to go to the middle. That's into the net. Double check the varsity roster, see if I'm not missing something. Yeah, I don't know who that number 8 would be. Wish they would. I wish they'd keep that updated because I don't know. It's either there or the coaches. I don't know. Slagle sends it over. Received by the Buffaloes. The spike and the block! And that's going to be a point for the Cats. And also 4 touches on the Buffaloes. So I think they didn't really consider that a block. I think they just said that, hey, it went into the net and you touched it a 4th time. Though, there you go. J.C. Owsley on the serve. Net fault there, and that will go back to the Buffaloes. Owsley had a couple of net faults on our last broadcast against Lander. Hasn't had as many so far, but it is only the first set. Now here comes the serve by Perla Rodriguez Davila. Out of bounds, the flag goes up. So, well, just like the Lander game, it just seems like Greybull is just overcooking their serves a little bit. The Bobcats are benefiting off it. Really good job staying patient. The serve by Epperson, received there on the near side. The set, and the spike! And that's going to go by. And I do believe that is Sky Griffin there in the 7, just going off what roster we have. All signs seem to point to that. The Bobcat roster is wildly inaccurate here. I don't know what's going on. It was really bad, especially in the JV game. That was tipped over. Minimal effort there by Marley Henson to get the point. And as such, Greybull will keep it as Camila Acuña Vaquera on the serve. The set and the spike. That was Morgan Jones there in the middle. The spike, and that's going to bounce off, and they're going to keep it alive. Sending it over with 2. The bump. The set. The spike. Falls to the floor. They get the point. Bobcat defense trying everything they can to keep it together, but Kylie Corpening down there just trying to coach her players there on the back end. Trying to get them to get their stances here. Takes the snap. Oh, there they go. Beautiful job there on the block, but they're going to keep it alive. Epperson sends it over, and it's a point. Layla Epperson, the libero, in on the kill. And now here comes what I believe is Jalen Stedman. Haven't seen much of Alex Sorensen out there, I've noticed. Oh, that's off of Epperson. That's going to be a point. Good reflexes, but not quite good enough. And volleyball is a seriously tough game. I mean, you are literally battling with the laws of physics when you're playing this game. And I guess that could be true for a lot of other sports, but especially in volleyball, they're going to dive. Nope, that's not going to work. Good effort, though, by Sky Griffin. We got a timeout. Bobcats will use their first timeout as Greybull has drawn it to a 1-point game so far here in the opening set. We'll be right back with some more volleyball here on Two Basins Sports Network, the voice of the Bobcats. Well, right back in the saddle here at Hot Springs County High School. Welcome back to the Bobcat Den here at Hot Springs County High School. It's not an official name, but you can guarantee it, I'm going to lobby the school district to make it the official name. Anyway, back into it here. Serving is Caitlin Hunt. And the diving stop for Epperson. They're going to spike it. It's taken back by Jones in the middle. And here comes the number 5 of... I can't see who it is. I'm sorry. It ricochets off the net. Owsley gets it to the back area of the court. The spike, and that's going right over her head. That's going to be a point for the Bobcats as it goes out. (18-16). I'm telling you, this whole experience has definitely reawakened my my volleyball phase from high school. It used to be my top favorite sport, but I don't know why I ever fell out of love with it. This is absolutely amazing to watch. Jones pushes it up back into the back area of the court. Takes the spike, and it's off of the 7. Again, I'm just going to contend that Sky... She doesn't play like her, though. That's the thing. But we don't have any other names, so it's either that or I call her number 7 for the rest of the match, and I don't think anybody would like that. 7. Oh, that's punched back all the way toward the end line. They're going to push them all the way back into the back area of the floor here behind the attack line. And Owsley with the tip, that one had a little bit of power underneath it. And not a block that time. They had Morgan Jones there in the middle. Tied up at 18 here. And the server's wearing number 18. Or actually, no, 16, my bad. The set, the spike from the far side. And Ducks recover, it's out of bounds. A good try for Bella Rodriguez Davila. Just not enough. Well, I guess, there was enough. Too much of it, actually. In 19-18, Bobcats get it back, a very tight set. Morgan Jones set to serve here. They'll send it over the dive, and that's going to be a point for the Bobcats. Oh, wrong team. 20-18 is your score. Morgan Jones still serving for the Cats here. Jones sends it over. The spike on its way for Rodriguez, and that's going to be in. Bella Rodriguez Davila, the junior, there on the kill. She has had a fantastic afternoon so far. We'll try this again. The libero on the serve and a net fault. That time on, I think Shane Cheatham is the libero for the Buffs. They only got one libero dressed here. And looks like coming out of the game will be number 5. Of which she is not on the roster. Awesome. That's just disrespectful. Epperson on the save. Good dig there. And Owsley getting it to the back end. And they'll send it back to the back row. Owsley has to do a two-hander, but it's legal. It'll stay there. Greybull trying to counter. Bella on the kill. Once again, Bella Rodriguez Davila in on the kill for Greybull. She is just having a fun time out there. Coming out of the game is Sherilyn Diaz-Rios, one of the original starters here for Greybull. On the serve is Wyatt Whaley. She'll send it over. Epperson there to receive it. The spike coming up for Slagle. And that's going to be a point for Greybull as it's 4 touches on the Bobcats. We're updating the score. We apologize. We were a couple points behind there. Focusing too much on the game and not enough on our score graphic. I apologize. And that's going to go way out of bounds. That is a Bobcat point. And we got one coming into the game, number 10. Are you kidding me? It looks like Elena Scheel. I mean, if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, and quacks like a duck, it might be a duck. That's going to be back to the Bobcats there as it goes into the net. Didn't see who got the kill there for Thermop, and we got another timeout. Greybull is going to call it this time as we're 2 points away from set point. We'll be right back from inside of Hot Springs County High School in just a moment. Bobcats lead 23-21 in the opening set. Like talking back here inside of Hot Springs County High School, home of the Bobcats. JC Owsley getting set to serve here. Whistle blows. Owsley sends it up, and we are back underway. This one gets to the net. Slagle gets a hand on it. And we're at the set point here for the Bobcats. Charlie Slagle has been lighting it up there on the middle. She's had so many blocks and a lot of good spikes in the middle. Her and Owsley are a pretty good team there in the middle. Tries to tip it over. That one gets by Elena Scheel. Epperson tries to come in to rescue it. 24-22. Greybull still down by 2. And all it takes is going to be 1 point here for the Cats to end this set. And we got a sub as the servers will switch hands here. Brooklyn Allen coming in for the Buffaloes to serve. The serve. And a diving stop. Oh, that one's into the net, but what a play there for Epperson. And they're still within the threshold needed to win this set with 1 more point. Still set point. Not quite advantage yet. Back up to Epperson. This will go to the far side. They'll keep it inbounds. The tip. And that's going to be the set. And the kill by number 8, I believe that was, for the Bobcats. And that is going to conclude the first set. A heart-pounding opening set for the Bobcats. 25-23 is how it ends. And that is going to bring us to the second set here in about 3 minutes or so. We'll be right back on Two Basins Sports Network. What a set that was. And there is still there's guaranteed to be at least 2 more coming up. So we'll be right back. You're watching Varsity Volleyball on Two Basins Sports Network, the voice of the Bobcats. Let's welcome you back here inside of Hot Springs County High School, home of the Bobcats. Cats lead 1-0 here in this match. So far, so good for the purple and gold. And I gotta say, the star of that set was definitely Charlie Slagle. No doubt about it. She looks like a collegiate. I'm gonna be honest. She looks like a collegiate, like D1 Nebraska Cornhuskers middle blocker. She does so well in the middle when she's up there, and she is a threat. So is Owsley, but I feel like Slagle has had the most impact so far today, at least in that first set. Definitely a lot to look at in terms of how the rest of this game should shape up if they continue their form heading into this. Also, Morgan Jones has also had a pretty good set here. And that is going to be her first serve of the set, and we're back underway. The spike, and it's going to go into the net. Not blocked by Slagle, but it was blocked by the net. So that is the net also has had a couple of good stats here today. It's a ringer. It plays the freshman games, the JV games, and the varsity games. It is all-state, all-American. Speaking of all-American, there goes another point there for the Bobcats. Another 2-0 start here. That's kind of how it started in the first set as well. They went out to a 2-0 lead to start. Greybull did. I think they scored after that. So let's see if that's the same outcome here. The set and the two-hander keeps it alive. The set again. The spike coming up and kept alive. It's actually going to go right back to the other end of the floor. The spike, and it's blocked! Slagle again! It's out of bounds on the near side. 2-1. So despite the point, that's still something to get excited about. A good block. I didn't really even process that it was actually like out of bounds, but like doesn't really matter that much. That's going to be a good play there for number 5. It looks like Izzy Hetzel, but I'm not quite sure. That is going to be another point for the Bobcats. Yeah, I think I'm going to go out on a limb and say that is Hetzel. That's wearing number 5, because we know that she does do JV and varsity pretty equally. So the spike and the save, the dig. They're going to try to go to the floor, and that's going to make it. Are they scoring the wrong? Are they scoring the wrong team here? It says 2-3 Bobcats. Okay, I guess we were the ones scoring the wrong team there. So it's 3-3, tied up now, so our scoreboard is correct. It's not me forgetting to score this time. It's me scoring the wrong team. The set, and the spike, and the flag goes up. That's a Bobcat point. And so let's see here. Number 7 on the serve. That'll go on to a net fault that Greybull will tie it back up here. How come I get this gut feeling that it's either going to end 3-1 or we're going to go into a 5th set? And I'm not going to say who's on the winning end of that. 4-5. Did I just completely forget to score Greybull? Yes, I did. So 5-4 there. Greybull on top. And on the serve, by the way, Wyatt Whaley. We're kind of missing on those, calling out those who's serving. Sends it over. Sorensen there to get it. Diving to get, or 7 trying to go, rushing to get there. The set. And the spike, and it's blocked! Owsley on the far side. They're going to try it again. That one has some hands on it, too. Owsley going up for the spike, and that one's blocked. Slagle there to pick up the pieces in the middle. They'll send it over. Sends it back over. Sorensen, they're going to fall to the floor. That's going to be a point for Greybull. A little bit better communication there on the back end. The front half is doing their job just fine. It's just the back. That back line needs to do a little bit better in terms of communicating. Sorensen, oh, good job there to keep it alive. They'll push it over just barely, and this was still going to be alive for Greybull. Number 7 with it. The spike coming up for Slagle. That's off, but that's a point. 5 on the board for the Bobcats. J.C. Owsley back to serve now for the Bobcats. Pretty close quarters here in the second set. And that is going to be a problem, just absolute big problem there for Greybull on that possession. Tied back up at 6 here. 6 apiece for both the Bobcats and the, almost said the Bulldogs. I'm still in Lovell mode apparently. Hey, it's a Bighorn County team. You cannot hold that against me, okay? Uh-oh, that's going to be off the hand and out of bounds. Off of number 8 for the Bobcats. How come I get that feel? How come I get the feeling that it's Millie Johnson? I have a feeling that's exactly who it is, and I just haven't been able to call that. I'm going to ask. Maybe next time I'll just have them. I think when we go to Rocky next week, I think I'm just going to have the coaches. Oh, that's a good block there on the end by Elena Scheel, I think was on top of that. Sends it over. And the spike incoming. Owsley keeps it alive with one hand. Slagle going to send it over cleanly. The libero there on top of it for Greybull. They're going to try and, oh, miscommunication. They still get over. Scheel sends it over. They're going to get into the net. It's off her head and a point for the Bobcats. And they're going to say a double touch on the Buffaloes. The near side referee signaled that. 7-7. 14 points total here in this second set so far for both sides. That one's off the libero. The battle of the liberos on that serve. And that's into the net. That'll be a Bobcat point. It's been so much fun calling this varsity game. Alex Sorensen getting ready to serve. Coming into the game is Bella Rodriguez Davila. The set. And the spike! And they're going to keep it going here. And sent over by Morgan Jones. Down into the back end. And Owsley keeps it alive. Now they have to send it back over, and they will. I guess it's harder than it looks. Or sorry, it's easier than it looks is what I meant to say. That's into the net. They're going to call a net violation, or a carry actually, on the Bobcats. Tied up at 8 here, 16 points combined. And now serving is going to be Camila Acuna Vaquera. Sends it over. And the spike. And it's going to fall to the floor. And had some contact there from a Buffalo before it went out, so that is going to be a Bobcat point. And now serving, again, I think it's Millie Johnson, but I'm not quite certain. The spike. Oh, that's going to go just barely inbounds. And a substitution coming onto the floor for the Bobcats. Again, you can't tell me that's not Izzy Hetzel. She had the same little pigtail set up in the JV game. Yeah, no, that's Izzy Hetzel. So I'm just going to, yeah. And I do believe that number 8 is Millie Johnson as well. There they go into the net. That's going to be a problem. Another Greybull point. So they'll retake the lead, and they'll enter double digits first here. Bobcats and Buffaloes just trading blows here in this second set. And keep in mind, Greybull currently sitting third in the 2A West standings. So this is not a slouch of a team at all. And in fact, they actually have double-digit wins on the year. That's going to be a point there as well. As Owsley tries to get the dig there for the Bobcats. Unfortunate outcome there for the Bobcats as Greybull now into their biggest lead, I believe, of the afternoon so far. Owsley now to Jones, and the spike coming up, and it's blocked. She keeps it going. Into the middle now. Here comes the spike. Back end. Flag goes up. It's out. And I do believe that was either Wyatt Whaley or Elizabeth Holloway that had that that had that shot there for the Buffaloes, Lady Buffs, whatever you want to call them. Peyton Green back to serve now. The spike coming up and had a little bit of interference there as Owsley will send it back over in a set. This will be dangerous. The spike out of bounds, flag goes up. And again, Greybull just keeps shooting themselves in the foot on those spikes. They're just getting too much power underneath it. I think they're more worried about, hey, just let's get it over the net and worry about the consequences later. I feel like that's what their mindset is right here, because they've just been going out a lot here so far tonight. I feel like they're just trying to get this away from the Bobcats as much as they can. The set and the spike, and that's going to go into the net off of the 16 of Elizabeth Holloway. I think she was also the one that sent it out of bounds. Actually, yeah, she was the one who sent it out on that last point. Peyton Green now back-to-back serves, matching her jersey number. She'll send it over cleanly. That was almost an ace. Middle blockers, yeah, they caught the net violation on Greybull, I think. So that is going to be the Bobcats getting a point here. They'll extend out to, I think they're tied for their biggest lead of the set so far. Peyton Green back to serve. This is her fourth set of this possession. Cleanly fielded here. They'll go for the spike on the far side. That is off the fist of Green. Sorensen risking life and limb to get that one. And they'll send it back over. The spike, that's going out the back end. And the flag goes up, another out of bounds for Greybull. And they'll call the timeout, their first of the set. What a heart-pounding match this has been for the Bobcats, as Greybull just keeps trying to hang on. We'll be right back here from Hot Springs County High School. Greybull timeout. Do not go anywhere. You will not want to miss this. We'd like to welcome you back here inside of Hot Springs County High School, home of the Bobcats. Thermopolis currently leads by 3, their largest lead of the set. They've already won the first set. That's going to go off the front, and that's going to be a point there for the Cats. Student section reciprocating the celebration here, 15-11. 10 points to the end of the set. Tips it over, dives for it. That's going to be a point for the Buffs. The Lady Buffs doing everything they can. They've done, actually, Greybull, I will give them credit. They've done a lot of good stuff on defense so far in this match. Some things just haven't gone their way, but they've been coming out on the end of the defensive end of the battle here for the most part. Takes the spike, and what a block. This might be 4. I don't know. No, Epperson will send it over legally. That's going to be inbounds. They probably could have let that one fall, but I don't blame the libero for going after it. Owsley on the spike, and it's blocked. Wyatt Whaley and Marley Henson there on the block for the Buffaloes. Beautiful job on the far end. And it just seems like those outside hitters, like they have been kind of the ones making the biggest impact here. The serve coming up here for the Buffaloes. The spike coming up off of Morgan Jones. They'll try to work it middle. The spike coming up. It's going to hit the net. And that's a point for the Cats. 4 touches on the Buffaloes. We got a sub here as well. Looks like the libero's coming out of the game. That is Layla Epperson getting a break here. The set. And up the middle. It's blocked. They still keep it going. And they're going to try to zip it over. Slagle gets it over for the Bobcats, and this is going to be trouble. Two-hander to avoid the 4 touches. And dive into the floor. What a dig there by the 15. The spike, and this rally is still going. Slagle, oh, I'm surprised they didn't call a carry on that one. The spike, and that's going to be a point for the Buffs. Great execution there. I believe it was Perla Rodriguez Davila on the kill there for the Buffs. And like I said, Perla has been carrying this, well, not that kind of carry, but she's been carrying this team all day so far, honestly. The set. Owsley coming in, that's into the net. Just kind of lifted her hand down a little too much. I think had she kept it a little bit more off to the side, she probably would have been just fine. That probably would have gone where she wanted it to, but it will fall short. 15 on the board for Greybull. The set, the spike by Owsley. She'll send it up to the far side. The set, and the stationary spike will go into the net for Greybull. 17-15 on the board. And we got a sub coming in. I believe this is Millie Johnson back into the game. Izzy Hetzel headed to the bench. Again, I'm just going off of faces and vibes at this point. The spike and a block near side. And this one's back. Slagle, now Owsley now up to the middle. They're going to try a two-hander, the dive for Sorensen. That's going to be another point for the Buffaloes. Lady Buffs doing a good job sticking with the Bobcats here in this second set. The furthest they've let the Bobcats go in this second set has been 3 points. That's it. They've been so close. They've had the lead a couple times as well in this set. Back set here. This is going to be up to the middle of the floor. The spike on its way and ricochets off of Peyton Green. Greybull ties it up at 17 apiece. And Greybull now doing the 7 Nation Army. I like it. Like I said, I saw DuBois do that same exact celebration when I visited Arapahoe and got those pictures a couple days ago. That's off the top of the net, and it will still remain in a good spot here. Middle of the floor, the spike on its way, and they'll just let fall to the floor. Some miscommunication down there on the floor between the 7 and the libero. Greybull with the lead for the third time this set. And it's into the net, so a net fault off the 14 of Wyatt Whaley. So it's tied back up at 18 a pop here. And they're going to send Peyton Green onto the bench. J.C. Owsley set to serve here for the Bobcats. Sends it over, the dive, and it's not going to work. Bobcats reclaim the lead at 19. Owsley set to serve again, back-to-back here. Sends it over to the far side, up toward the silhouettes. Spike on its way. It's kind of been disrupted a little bit there. Slagle on the spike, and it's a point! And the Bobcats into the 20s here in the second set. Now, now if they win this second set, you remember against the Lander game, Lander was up 2-0 that night, and Thermopolis came back for the reverse sweep. So don't hold your breath if they do win this. That is going to be on the corner, and that is a point for Greybull. A good spike there for the Buffs. And now here comes number 11, Brooklyn Allen, set to serve. The serve. The set. Spike from Owsley from far back. That's out of bounds, and Greybull will tie it up at 20. .20 is your score. Greybull trying to give themselves a little bit of an advantage going into the third set here. Elena Scheel in on the spike. A good job there to back set. They'll dive for it. Into the front of the net. That's a point for the Buffaloes. 21-20. A beautiful job there by Greybull's front side, or by Greybull's front line to just keep things going. The set and the spike from Slagle on the near side, and she'll have to do it again. That's a point! Had to do the double spike there as she got it returned. She was like, I don't want it. You have it. That's yours. 21-21 is your score here in only the second set. We've been live for an hour. Now, granted, about 7 minutes of that was the warm-ups, but that is out definitely. Yep, that flag is going up. That is definitely out of bounds, and Greybull will reclaim the lead at 22. I'm telling you, this is either going to go into a fourth or a fifth set. The set, the spike, almost fell there. That one will go toward the padding. They keep it alive. I think that was 4. Yeah, oh no, it was a carry actually, according to the far side ref. Tied back up at 22. This has just been an absolutely insane set for the Buffs and Bobcats. And just to think there will be a rematch of this in a couple of weeks when Thermopolis goes to Greybull. 23-22. Now serving is Caitlin Hunt, the sophomore. Played a little bit in the JV game. That's up into the net. Neither side letting go here. They both want this set. And Greybull knows if the Bobcats win this set, they're in a little bit of trouble. They're going to have to work extra hard to get back into this match. This one's back up into the middle. And a dive keeps it alive. Fantastic job thus far. The spike. Oh, good job keeping it alive there in the middle. They'll send it back over. That's a point. Set point for the Bobcats. Just went right off, and a timeout for Greybull. They will use their second of 2 here in the second set. We'll be right back from inside of Hot Springs County High School in just a moment. Do not go anywhere. You will not want to miss this set point when we come back. I'd like to welcome you back here inside of Hot Springs County High School, home of the Bobcats. Second set about ready to wrap up here. And they'll send it over for the serve. And that's the end of it! They will go into the third set with a 2-0 advantage. And that is how you want to end it. 2-0. They got to win one more set. And this is technically an upset if they're able to pull it off. And we'll be back for the third set here. Still a little bit ways to go, and I have a feeling that it's not going to end in this set. So you might want to hang on just a little bit. We'll be right back. 25-23 the score here, or the final score of the second set. Bobcats take the first 2, but can Greybull come back and pull the reverse sweep? We'll just have to see. More coming up after this. I'd like to welcome you back here inside of Hot Springs County High School, home of the Bobcats. Third set about to get underway here. Bobcats just need 25 more points on the board to win this game. But Greybull kept it super close in that first and second set, more so the second, but it's not been a very, it's not exactly been a lot as lopsided as the set score would have you believe. So third set, about to get underway. Bobcats up 2-0. They got to win this set to, well, not necessarily this set. They could probably just relax on this third set and go into a fourth set, but nobody wants that. They want this game over with. And that one shanked off by Morgan Jones. That'll be a point for Greybull. Now, like I said, if it's not really the end of the world if Greybull wins this set, but the Bobcats will have to work a little bit harder to win in the fourth set if that's the case. As far as I know, this is still first to 25. It's not the fifth set. It would be best to 15. The spike coming up for Owsley. It will land, and that'll be a point. Owsley on the spike kill there. Beautiful job. And she's gotten a lot better here since our last broadcast against Lambert. She was kind of a little bit hit or miss in the game against Lambert. She is doing so much better here in this game. And that's going to be a net fault off of Morgan Jones, and that'll be 2-1 Greybull. Now serving the libero, Shane Cheatham, the senior. One of only 3 seniors on the Greybull roster, by the way. Charlie Slagle on the spike! They tried to block it, but it'll still tie up. 2-2 is your score. It's been a great game up to this point. Greybull's not going to go down without a fight. You know that. I always sign off with don't pet the buffalo for a reason. Slagle tries to block it as well as, I believe, Millie Johnson there on the far side. It'll slip through their hands, and Greybull will retake the lead. I don't think we've seen a lead change, really, but we've had the lead. We've gotten from lead to tie a couple times so far this set. We'll send it up there off of the 3 of Peyton Green. The spike on its way. Green lowers herself to the floor to get the dig. Still alive here. They'll tip it over with 2. They saw that one coming. They'll push it back up. This will stay in bounds. Flag stays down. Greybull 2-4. Thermopolis has to find a way to get back into the set. I wonder if Greybull kind of has been wearing them down a little bit in this set. This could be 4. Yep, it will. So 4-3. Bobcats get the point off the 4 touches for Greybull. Got one coming on. I think that's number 10. Going onto the floor, Elena Scheel. JC Owsley on the serve. She'll send it over to the middle. The set and the spike, and it's, that's almost, yeah, that's out, way out. Flag didn't even need to go up there. You got to give him credit, though. Charlie Slagle had that one kind of go down. She had to react quickly. Don't really blame that one for going out. Just not a great circumstance there. Greybull will get back into this one. Here comes Brooklyn Allen. Almost a net fault there. And that one definitely goes into the net off of Slagle as she tries to get a little too aggressive there. Kind of puts it down into the hardwood there. Sends it over. A dive. The set and the spike. Scheel on top of it. And that will be 3. They got super lucky on that one. Slagle to number 14 near side. They'll push it back over in 2. And miscommunication, and she knew it. Alex Sorensen, not Alex Sorensen. Layla Epperson. If I've been calling her Sorensen this whole match, oh no. I meant to say Epperson, Layla Epperson. I apologize, not Layla Sorensen. There'll be a point off the net touch there, 8-3. Easily the best that Greybull has done so far in this varsity contest today. They're looking for the reverse sweep. Sent over, near side. Back set, Slagle on the spike, and out of bounds. And now it's the Bobcats falling into the same pitfalls that Greybull fell into the past couple of sets, and that will be a timeout for the Bobcats as Kylie Corpening will try to talk it over here with her girls. And we'll be right back here in just a moment. 9-3 is your score. Greybull on top here in the third set. Like talking back as Brooklyn Allen gets set to serve for the Buffs. 9-3. Why did the buzzer go off? And the serve. And she'll fall to it there. The spike coming up and kind of mixed up in the middle there is Camila Acuna Vaquera there to get a hand on it for Greybull. 10-3 Buffs. Currently on top here. Sends it over. The set. The spike. Falling to the floor here. Goes to her knee. The spike. And keeps it going. Return to center. This might not be as great of a spike as they want here. And that is going to fall back to the 10. Pushed over by Slagle. That'll be a carry on Slagle, make it 11-3. Gets up to the net there. Elena Shield there to get it. JC Owsley and dives to the floor. That'll be a point for the Bobcats. And it's Owsley on the kill for the Lady Cats here. Morgan Jones back into the game. Charlie Slagle going to get a breather. Served by Epperson. Another libero there to get it. It'll be a spike. They're going to try to chase this one down. Owsley face first to the bench. The kill made by the two of Shane Cheatham. Now coming in is Marley Henson, one of the starters back into the game. She'll come in for Cheatham. And now serving is going to be Camila Acuna Vaquera. Brooklyn Allen also onto the bench, I see there. Ooh, good job there by Epperson to get to it. We're going to go to the far side. It's blocked. They keep it going as Alex Sorensen into the game for the first time today. She was trying to make it work there on the far side, 13-4, as Acuna Vaquera getting ready to serve again. Takes the spike. Oh, just barely out of bounds. Good call there by the flagman. He knew exactly where it went there. CAV about ready to serve again. Elena Shield, and that is going to land just barely out of bounds. 15-4. Makes you wonder if the Bobcats are just saving their energy for this set and just moving on to the fourth set here, but they got to do something here. Acuna Vaquera sending it back over the net here. And the spike, and nobody was there. Alex Sorensen couldn't get there in time. 16-4. And Greybull is just treating this like a completely new game here, as if that opening set never happened. Acuna Vaquera on the standing serve here. Back set, they'll send it over off of Morgan Jones. The set and the spike. And Owsley just looking calm and collected there on the corner. She's there to get it. They'll tip it over. And has to bump it up to the middle. That'll be out to the far side, up toward the home stands there. Good job there on the far end to good job on the far end to just show some sort of patience there and let it fall out. Sometimes it's like a baby too. Sometimes you just gotta let it fall out. So here comes, I think this is Millie Johnson getting ready to serve. I'm probably going to hear about it in the comments if I got that wrong. I'm sure somebody's going to see that number 8 and be like, "That's not Millie, that's so-and-so." Flag goes up and it's out of bounds. Another point for the Bobcats to make it within 10 here. That's what the Bobcats have done best. They don't really rush to the ball all that much when it looks like it's going to go out. Greybull, on the other hand, has been kind of somewhat impatient. Oh, good job there by Jones to tip it over. Oh, and there goes Epperson again. Epperson magic. And another rejection there for Greybull, but they're going to have to work to get this one back. Tries to go for the block. Owsley there to get it on the diving save. Good dig there for J.C. Owsley, and they'll just bump it over. They're going to have to try to go for the block, and they will just go. And Greybull knew that they were going to try to block it, so they just go for the small one. And that one is blocked. Rejected there by number 18, I want to say. Yeah, no, number 10, Marley Henson was there on the block in the subsequent kill. Good defensive performance there by the middle line again. 17-6. That did not go as well as they would have liked. Ricocheted off Peyton Green and then to Morgan Jones. Bobcats will use their second timeout of the set. And we will be right back here from inside of Hot Springs County High in just a moment. It is a 12-point game here in the third set. Buffalo's trying to get at least one set under their belt here in this match. We'll be right back from Hot Springs County High School in just a moment. Bobcats were the first ones back onto the floor. We'd like to welcome you back inside of Hot Springs County High School, home of the Bobcats. 2 sets to none so far for the Bobcats. If this were JV, then they would have already won this match. And that is going to be inside the line. What do they teach you in like first grade art class? Color inside the lines. Well, that's about as inside the line as you can get without spilling over there. 19-6, they'll send it over to the back set. They'll let it fall. Flag goes up. Bobcats just being patient on that one, and they're trying to get as much as they can out of this set. And Greybull looking pretty calm here, given the circumstances. Spike coming up on the far side. That is off of Epperson, and that is going to go out of bounds. Layla Epperson saw that a lot against Lander. She puts her body on the line a lot in those types of defensive scenarios, but they just don't work out, and that's going to be a net fault. Net fault on Elizabeth Holloway. Morgan Jones will be back to serve now for the Bobcats. She'll send it over, back end. Up to the front row, and return to center. Owsley to the near side, and that's going to be 3. They'll get rid of it in 3 touches, and somehow it works for the Buffaloes. Man, that long bump is all they needed. 21-8, a football score in the third set. The libero, Shane Cheatham, to serve it here. The bump and the spike coming up for Slagle. Falls to the floor, and it's a point. 21-9. And we got one coming in. It looks to be, I believe, Millie Johnson in onto the floor now. Coming out of the game appears to be Izzy Hetzel. The set And the spike from the middle. They're going to fall to the floor. Epperson tries to get a hold of it there. 22 on the board for Greybull. And the Bobcats have to get it together in this fourth set. We know it's going to go to a fourth set pretty much. Caitlin Hunt onto the floor now. She comes in for Sherilyn Diaz-Rios. Takes the spike. The set. Spike again from the far side, and it's rejected. Owsley bumps it over. This will go to the back row. Moving up to the front. The spike, and it's rejected again. Into the net, and that's a point. Number 19, Perla Rodriguez Davila. She just continues to make it just trying to make life miserable there for the blockers on the far side. She has done fantastic today. Owsley on the serve. The set. Rodriguez. That's going to go to the back row. Good job, though, on the setup. And that's going to be way out. 23-10. Here comes Brooklyn Allen back to serve. Sends it over. And, oh, good save! As she'll fall to the scorer's table there. JC Owsley on the reception. And now she'll send it back over. That ricochets, they try to keep it alive. That's going to be 4. And the Bobcats with another point. Just trying to get as many as they can, try to chip into this a little bit here. Who knows, maybe they'll come back. But if I'm them, I don't think I'd really try to waste my energy on the rest of this set. They're already at 23. I'd say just move on to the fourth set and try to get it done there. And that's going to go through Elena Scheel. Greybull on set point here for the first time this afternoon in the varsity game. And now getting ready to serve is going to be Camila Acuna Baqueda. Sends it over to the back row. Elena Scheel now the spike there by Owsley. It's off of CAV for the point. 12-point set here. Thermopolis getting the point back, and now Millie Johnson will be back to serve here for the Bobcats. And here they go, receiving it into the back end. A spike coming up, and it's blocked, but that's a point. And that will put away the set for the Buffaloes. They will win their first set of the afternoon. We're going into a fourth. And the Bobcats have got to try to get it done here in this fourth set. As 2-1, currently your score here. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back at the end of the fourth set. And what a game it's been so far. But yeah, just kind of knew this was going to happen, that they were going to be in this type of situation. But with that being said, we'll be right back in just a moment. Do not go anywhere. Varsity Volleyball on Two Basins Sports Network returns when we come back in just a moment. Bobcats still lead 2-1. I'd like talking back inside of Hot Springs County High School, home of the Bobcats, as we resume Class 2A West play here in the volleyball season, getting into the conference stretch of games. Tournaments are over. And now it's time for the real deal as the teams set up for their conference play. Big Piney and Kemmer up to this point were the only ones that had done their first conference game. I think Big Piney ended up winning that one, so sucks for Kemmer, but, you know, I have no sympathy. I'm just joking. Anyway, back underway here. Bobcats and Buffs in their first conference game of the season. Buffalo's coming into this game with double-digit wins. I think they were 10-8 coming into this. Bobcats only had like 4 wins on the year. Of course, one of those wins being over the Lander Valley Tigers a couple of weeks ago, top of September. A reverse sweep in that game against the Tigers. We're just waiting on the Bobcats to get their rotation in order here. Yeah, they're pretty big sticklers about that in volleyball, that's for sure. Layla Epperson about ready to serve, and we are underway for the 4th set. And rejected. They're going to try and make it work on the far side. Then they'll go to the middle. The set and the spike by Owsley, and this is still up in the air. The spike ricocheted, and that's a point for Greybull. 1-0 is your score now, in case you're just tuning in. 1-0 here in the 4th. Bobcats have won 2 sets up to this point. They still need to win 1 more set. There is a very big likelihood that this could go into a 5th set, as there's big miscommunication on the floor. Bobcats performed a reverse sweep on the Lander Tigers, hoping not to be the victims of a reverse sweep. Charlie Slagle sends it over the net. This one's fielded. They're going to get back to the middle of the floor. The spike goes right back where it came from. And they're going to tip it. That's going to go into the net. Bobcat point. 1-2. Now, if the Bobcats can keep this momentum, that would be great. And for them here to avoid a 5th set, further exhausting their players, as if volleyball conditioning isn't the worst experience on planet Earth. Takes the spike, and that's going to go right beneath her. Peyton Green was the last one to touch it. Greybull gets their 3rd point of the set. It's going to be another one of those games, I have a feeling. Like I said, I don't think this will end in the 4th. This will very likely go into a 5th set. And the dive, that's a point for the Bobcats. 3-2. Now, of course, those watching back on the video archive, like in the future, we probably already know how many sets this is because of the length of the video. But, yeah, if it's more than 2 hours long, then, you know, probably went into a 5th set. The spike, and it's blocked. They're going to keep it going on a one-hander. Owsley sends it up to the middle, the bump, and the libero's there to get it. The spike off the fingertips. They'll keep it alive. Slagle keeps up in the air. It was a team effort between Owsley and Slagle on that one, and they're going to get it back. Owsley receives it. The bump, the set, the spike. 2 different people collided there. It was Green and Owsley. The spike into the net. And it's a point for the Bobcats on a carry. And here comes J.C. Owsley up behind the line. She'll get ready to serve. 3-3. Lowers herself to the ball here. Out of bounds. And Owsley, I think Owsley and number 7, I believe number 7 might be Peyton, what's her name? Paige Jones, sorry. I have a feeling that's who that is because Paige was in the varsity game against Lander. That's another point for the Bobcats, by the way, 5-3. Biggest lead of the set so far, although to be fair, this is their only lead so far. Their biggest lead all game, I believe, was in the first set. I think they won by 5 points, something like that, 3 points, 4 points. The spike coming up, falls to the floor, gets her off guard. That's Millie Johnson with the kill for the Bobcats, 6-3. I have a feeling Greybull's going to use their first timeout here any minute now, especially if they get one more point here. Sends it over to the middle. Gets it behind, and it's going to be chaos there up on the net. That's going to go out of bounds off of the Bobcats, and a point for the Buffaloes. Coming into the game now, number 11, Brooklyn Allen. Coming out of the game will be 19 of Perla Rodriguez Davila. The serve, sends it over, and tries to return to sender. Slagle right there on it. The spike falls to the floor. Layla Epperson was trying to save that one. Bobcats still lead, but just barely, 6-5. The lead has changed hands twice in this set. Or no, once. Only once. Sorry, I apologize for that. The spike off the libero, the far side. This is dangerous. The spike. Surprised it didn't hit the antenna there. And here goes Owsley. Oh, the libero to her knees there. Cheatham. That's out of bounds. No. Oh, man. Oof. That looked like it definitely went out, but we have the advantage of the bird's eye view, so I'm not going to dispute that. 6-6. Flagman kept his flag where it was. 6-6 here. I don't think we've seen a lot of questionable calls on the line today. I think most of them have been pretty, if not all, but one of them have been pretty accurate. That one was not, though. I will say that. The spike, that's going to go to the floor, and that one is a fair call that time. 6-7. Bobcats need to get back into this game any way they can. Again, not the end of the world if Greybull wins this set, but they do not want to go into a fifth set. Takes the spike and the block. Good job there on the far side. They're going to try it again. Owsley on the back row. Slagle goes for it. It's off of Cheatham, and a point for the Bobcats to tie it back up at 7. Bobcats get the possession back. Now the question is, can they keep the momentum as Alex Sorensen checks into the game for the Bobcats? Sends it over the net, goes to her knee. The spike incoming. Good job receiving the spike there. Johnson tries to send it over. That is off of the finger of Bella Rodriguez Davila, and that's a point for the Bobcats. It's 8-7 here. Sent over by Slagle. The spike, and it's blocked. Sorensen sends it over. They'll send it back over. J.C. Owsley. Now Sorensen. Now Slagle. That one's going to fall way short in 4 touches. Tied up at 8 apiece here. Bobcats got to find some more sustained momentum. Marley Henson into the game for the Buffs. And we do have a sub. I think Johnson back onto the floor here as Charlie Slagle comes out. Sorensen sends it over. And it hits the net. Bobcats with the lead again, 9-8. They keep trading points here. And now Morgan Jones set to serve here. The libero on the corner. Now they're going to set it back up. Now the tip. Through the middle, Alex Sorensen tries to keep it alive. That's a point for the Buffs. Now tied back up at 9. No timeouts yet by either side, though. I'm kind of shocked. I guess Greybull didn't really need that. I know I said earlier, but Greybull did not need that timeout, apparently. Caitlin Hunt sending it back over the net. J.C. Owsley, now Alex Sorensen. The spike, incoming, it's blocked. Set back over by Epperson. Now Owsley with it. The spike coming up again, and it's blocked. number 14, Wyatt Whaley, on the block, and she has been wailing on the Bobcat offense all day today. Greybull first 1 to 10 here. Caitlin Hunt on the serve, the sophomore. Received by Epperson. Epperson will try to spike it. Miscommunication between her and the 7 of Paige Jones. And now here comes Hunt back again for back-to-back serves. 11 to 9 here. Owsley. Sorensen. Now Jones sends it up. Near side, there's trouble. They'll send it back over. And it'll go under the net. That's another Greybull point, 12-9. Now here comes Caitlin Hunt. Into the corner, Hetzel. Now Sorensen, and now here comes Johnson. That one's back up, and looks like a call there on the Bobcats will give the point to Greybull, 13-9, and they will use their first timeout. And so we will take a quick break. Thermopolis trails 13-9 as Greybull tries to tie up the game here. We'll be back in the fourth set here in just a moment. Like talking back here, conference play to a West Volleyball on Two Basins Sports Network, brought to you by, well, viewers like you. We don't have sponsors. If you'd like to become one, though, call the number on the screen there on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, or text, preferably. And, yeah, your support goes a long way. And here they go. The spike hits the top of the net. Greybull trying to counter. It's up and off of Hetzel. Now Jones, and now here comes Owsley in the back half of the court. The two-hander received there by Epperson. And it's off, and that's going to be a point. Millie Johnson in on the kill for the Bobcats. We got one coming in. Looks to be Peyton Green in for the Bobcats. We've been at this for almost an hour and a half up to this point. It's been a great game. Top and tips it over, trying to get by the defenders, and a point for the Bobcats as they will call the net violation on Greybull. At least they assume that's what the call was. I think it might have been, actually, yeah. Now serving Peyton Green. And automatically, well, not really a net fault, but it didn't get anywhere close to the net. Just kind of, might have just rolled off her finger the wrong way there. Sometimes that kind of serve happens. God knows I've done that a couple times playing Buff Puff in high school. And that one way off the 2 of Sorensen. That's another point. Or not, dang it, I keep calling her Sorensen, Epperson. It ends, it's the same suffix. You can't really hold that against me, okay? Owsley to the far side. Back set. Now, that is Alex Sorensen right there that just put that one over. Tries to deliver that one into the back of the court here. The spike, that one goes way deep into the back row, and a point for the Bobcats on a carry for the Buffs. 3-point set here in this one. Bobcats, again, not exactly the end of the world if they lose this set, but they do not want to go into a fifth set. Or maybe they do. Sometimes these girls want to play more volleyball. The set. The spike. And it blocked! Slagle pushes it back to Epperson and then to Owsley on the far side. Goes for the spike. That one's rejected. Goes up again. That was also rejected! And they're going to try it again. Not block that side. They do find a way through the middle blockers. And that one's pushed back on 3. The set. The spike. That one way outside the back end. That flag goes up. 13-15 is your score. 10 points to the end of the set. Who's going to get there first? And a net fault there for Epperson. And now checking in is going to be Camila Acuna Vaquera, CAV, back into the game. And now here comes Shane Cheatham into serve. Far side, Owsley takes the serve. This one could stay in. That might be 4. Nope, it'll be 3. They keep it alive. It's crazy what kind of things can happen in the sport of volleyball. That one's blocked. They have to sprint back to get it. That's a point for the Buffs. And this has just been a living highlight reel here. This Buffaloes team has been 17-13. The serve sends it up into the back end. The spike coming up for Owsley. That's a good set. Just couldn't quite get with the tap that she wanted on it. The spike. And now near side, they're going to try to set up again. Owsley goes for it. Goes sky high. That's out of bounds. Flag goes up. No contact by Greybull. Just did not get it where she wanted it. 18-13. And they're going to try to spike it right then and there. And returns it back to Epperson. That goes out of bounds. Greybull just completely running away with the set now. They're going to bring back in Alex Sorensen. And they're going to give Layla Epperson a break here. The libero back off the floor. The set. And the spike by Slagle goes to the floor. They're going to try and backhand it back over the floor, or back over the net here. Owsley setting up for the spike. Finds the floor. We got a whistle. And a double touch there, I believe, on Greybull. So that is going to be a point for the Bobcats. A 5-point game here in the fourth set as Hetzel comes out of the floor. Morgan Jones back into the game. I believe this is Paige Jones, I believe, on the serve. It looks like her. The spike. Joe, that one goes up back over the net and out of bounds. That's a very unlucky hit there. Greybull now at 20. Told you, this could very well go into a fifth set unless the Bobcats pull a rabbit out of a hat here. I mean, I can't say what I really want to say on air, but and with that, a timeout called by I believe the Bobcats. So we'll be right back in just a moment as they use their second called timeout. We'll be back in just a moment. Greybull leads 21-14 here in the fourth set. More volleyball returns after this. Greybull about ready to serve. We'd like to welcome you back here inside the Bobcat Den at Hot Springs County High School, home of the Bobcats. They'll send this one over into the back row. Slagle, and now trying to keep it alive via the 3 of Peyton Green, but now here comes the spike on the far side, and it will fall to the floor. 22-14. And now Wyatt Whaley set to serve for Greybull once again. The serve will go to the near side. Owsley on the spike. Goes to the far side. That one received by Caitlin Hunt. And now they'll go on the spike again. That one stays in bounds. 23 on the board. And now here comes Wyatt Whaley back to serve again, her third serve of this rotation here. The set, the spike, and it's blocked. Bela Rodriguez Davila in on the spike, and it is set point for the Buffaloes for the second time this afternoon. The spike on its way. The spike there by Jones. That's the end of the set. And they will put an end to this fourth set, and we are going into a fifth. Greybull trying to complete the reverse sweep. And it's not looking good. We'll be right back in just a moment as we end the fourth set of play and entering into a fifth. It'll be first to 15. And all that right here on Two Basins Sports Network, the voice of the Bobcats. 2-2. We'll be right back. I'm sorry. I'd like to welcome you back here as the fifth and final set gets ready to go underway here. As the Bobcats won the first two sets, but then Greybull comes back and wins the third and fourth sets by a pretty convincing margin, especially in the third set. And I'll be honest, the Bobcats, I'm a little bit worried about what this is going to mean for the remainder of the season, if this is going to be a recurring theme. If they're able to finish games, it's going to be the big question. Remember, they performed that reverse sweep on Lander earlier, but now they're looking at getting it performed on them, and that's something that you don't want to have happen. It's a little bit nerve-wracking for sure if you're the Bobcats, but Greybull's having a lot of fun down there on the floor. You can definitely see it. Fans are loving it here in Greybull as well. Tied 2-2. I do believe it is first to 15 in this situation. It was like that in the Lander game, so I don't know why it'd be any different here. And the serve by Elizabeth Holloway, and we are underway. And despite running into the net, it is going to be a Greybull point as it will fall on the other end of the net there. Unfortunately, number 7 down there, Paige Jones, not able to get a hand on it, and this is going to be another serve for Greybull. The back set, now the spike. This one's going back off of Green. Now Jones. Owsley sends it over with one hand. Now playing the ball on the far side. This is going to be, oh, what a block! Off of the shot by Rodriguez Davila. That will go to the floor. That's a point for Greybull. Bela Rodriguez Davila has been, in my opinion, the most important player on the floor here tonight. Or today. It's still daylight, broad daylight. Somehow. You lose track of the days, or you lose track of the time in this place. That is off of Morgan Jones, and it is going to be another point for the Buffs. 3-0. A fifth of the way to winning this game in a reverse sweep. And there, regardless of how this ends, there's going to be some talks on Monday in practice, and maybe a little bit of extra conditioning. On the Bobcat head, they'll go up for the spike. Epperson, and now Owsley to the back row. They're going to go for the spike. Rodriguez, oh, good block there. This is still alive. They're going to get into the Bobcat side of the floor. They're going to tip it back over. A carry is called there on the Bobcats. Greybull is going to get the point 4-0, but still a really good play there by the Bobcats to keep this one alive, at least for the time being there. 4-0. This is not looking good for the Bobcats if they don't turn it around right now. Perla, or sorry, no, it was Perla on the shot there, but it will go back to Greybull. The spike and lands in. The kill by Marley Henson for the Buffaloes. And a timeout has been called for the Bobcats, their first of two. And we'll return here in just a moment. It is 5-0. Greybull on top here in the fifth set. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching Varsity Volleyball on Two Basins Sports Network, the voice of the Bobcats. We'd like to welcome you back inside of Hot Springs County High School, home of the Bobcats. And it has been a wild day of volleyball. Greybull's sub-varsity teams won today, but the freshmen won 2-1, and the JV team won 2-0. And it was looking like the Bobcats were going to try and upset that trend a little bit, but they have lost two back-to-back sets here after winning back-to-back sets. It's in the fifth set. And right now, 6-0 Greybull. Not looking promising in a first to 15. And Morgan Jones, that's going to be chased down by Epperson. That'll be 4. And there's just no way that this is happening. There's no way. I feel like Greybull probably just completely wore them down after that second set. There's a lot of things that Thermopolis is going to have to go through in practice on Monday. I don't know what else to say. And that is off of the back of Peyton Green. The Bobcats just getting absolutely demoralized in this fifth set. 8 straight unanswered points in the fifth set. There's a lot of work that needs to be done here. This is a team that went to state last year. Don't think that's going to be the case this year. And it's going to be, we got a lot more volleyball games coming up as October is upon us, and it's not going to be a fun October if they keep this up. Oh, fall to the floor. Not Sorensen, but Hetzel tried to get a hand on it there. And once again, guess who? Perla Rodriguez Davila in on the kill for the Buffs. I don't mean to talk bad, but this is just insane. And Sorensen on the spike. This is going to the corner. Hetzel with it there. Go onto the basket. Almost hit the basket there. Out of bounds. And another point for the Buffaloes. 5 points to go and another timeout for the Bobcats. They've burned both their timeouts in this set. and we will be right back. It's 10-0, Greybull on top in the final set. I'd like to welcome you back here inside of Hot Springs County High School, home of the Bobcats. Our next volleyball broadcast will be on Friday as the Thermopolis Bobcats take a trip to Cali for a JV and a varsity game. Rocky does not have a freshman team, so only just a JV and a varsity game. And it's blocked there by Sorensen in the middle. Greybull still trying to get something there. And the score is not lying to you. I did not forget to score the Bobcats. It is actually 10-0. I know, I'm shocked as well. Owsley to the near side. She actually has been a pretty good bright spot in this game, but that is going to hit the antenna. 11-0 Greybull. It's one of those things that if it wasn't live streamed, nobody would believe you. And into the net. Oh, I'm surprised they didn't get a call for that. And Rodriguez on the kill. Perla Rodriguez Davila, the junior, in on the kill for that one. 12-9. And PRD has just been having a whale of a game tonight. Just has had a fantastic game today on that front line. That's going to go out. Oh, no. And it looks like a bit of a mixed reaction here, as Greybull is not happy with the call. It went out. They say it stayed in. So the Bobcats will get their first point of the set here. The Bobcats were originally, and that's going to be a fall to the floor. The Bobcats were originally protesting the call because the original call by the flag woman down there on the corner, as you can see on our camera, her original call was that it stayed in and thus would be a Greybull point. She then changed her call. She lifted the flag, or the referee on the near side called it out of bounds. And Greybull was protesting pretty loudly over there on that west side, as if they're not leading the freaking set 13-2. Sorry about my language. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, you could probably make an argument for both sides of that, actually. I mean, to me, it looked like it went out. The original call was what it was, but then the Bobcats appealed to the line judge there on the near side. And Perla again with a big spike there on the far side. Here comes Owsley with one. That's going off. That's a point for the Bobcats. And Owsley on the kill on the near side. She did a fantastic job getting to the ball there and salvaging the play. 13-3. 2 points away from ending this game in the fifth. And that is out of bounds. And Thermopolis, could they be getting some momentum here? Hopefully that is the case here. But they're just doing fantastic now the past couple of possessions. It's not quite over yet until until one of those score panels says 15. This game is not over. And even then, that might be questionable if it's close enough. Sending it over into the purple line. They're going to send this one over two hands, trying to catch him off guard. They're going to chase it down. Millie Johnson there. And now here comes Green. They're going to tip it back over. And that's a point for the Buffaloes. And match point here for the Greybull Buffaloes. Wyatt Whaley back to serve for Greybull. This could be their final serve. And they'll send this one back over. Epperson sends it. That's off the libero. This could be a problem for Greybull. And going to the floor, that will do it. Wyatt Whaley with the final kill. And that will conclude the game. And the Greybull Buffaloes with the reverse sweep in Thermopolis. Their conference record will jump to 1-0. Bobcats 0-1, and they're still looking to improve their record. It's not been the best season for them in 2025. And, it's just a lot of conversations are going to be had in the locker room following this game. Just not something you really want to see. And the final score, the Greybull Buffaloes 3 sets, Thermopolis 2 sets. Great job to the Greybull Buffaloes today. They fought really hard. Nothing else really to say about it. They fought like I've never seen before. And, it was just, I think it was probably, something was telling me that it was going to happen. The Bobcats had a couple of flaws. They had a lot of flaws in those first couple of sets, and I kind of knew that this was going to happen. But it's on to Cali next week, and then it's on to Powell next Saturday. So before we go, it's time to deliver your Two Basins Sports Network player of the game. Perla Rodriguez Davila of the Greybull Buffaloes, the junior, just had a absolutely fantastic game. A ton of blocks and subsequent kills because of those blocks. And I think she really helped out, especially as the game progressed. She really did help out a lot on the Greybull side of things as the game really started getting closer to the end. But she has been just a thorn in the Bobcats side all day. Same thing goes as well. Honorable mentions today include Camila Acuna Vaquera, who had a similar impact. Wyatt Whaley and Marley Henson, I feel like, also had a pretty good game today. Honorable mentions today for the Thermopolis Bobcats should be pretty obvious. JC Owsley, Charlie Slagle, Layla Epperson, I'll give her credit as well. And Peyton Green, I feel like, also had a good game today as well. So that's your player of the game, as well as your honorable mentions for today's matchup. It's been a while since we've done honorable mentions. I just realized that we didn't do that for the football game last night. But anyway, with that being said, that is going to conclude our coverage of today's volleyball games. We'll be back tomorrow, or we'll be back on Monday for some middle school and junior varsity football. As the Thermopolis Bobcats middle school team will host the Lovell Bulldogs, and the JV team will host the Worland Warriors on Monday. Both games will be at Leroy Hayes Field right here on Two Basins Sports Network. And then on Thursday, we'll be taking a trip down to Riverton as the Thermopolis Bobcats take on the Riverton Spartans at Wolverine Stadium in Riverton on the campus of Riverton High School. And then on Saturday, instead of going to Cokeville, we will be going up to Rocky Mountain, we'll be going up to Cali for volleyball against Rocky Mountain. And I think next Saturday is against Powell. So we'll be there for both of those games on the road here. And as always, until next time, please remember to drive home safe, and please do not pet the buffalo. Final score, Greybull 3 sets to Thermopolis 2 sets. We'll see you on Monday at Leroy Hayes Field. Have a good night.